Okay, welcome to this next tutorial. This next tutorial is going to deal with how we can add artificial light sources to your model. Archicad gives the default sun, but we need to control lighting within inside of our cottage. So what I'll get you to do is to go over to the toolbox, and normally you have the design box, which is all your 3D objects, and we'll just minimize that. Underneath that is your documenting, which is everything to do with 2D. And the very last one is the More tab, and if we expand that, we can see one of those, or it's the fourth one down, says the lamp tool. So click on the lamp tool to highlight it. We're now in lamp mode. Then come up to the info box, click onto the info box, and here you can see you've got a selection of different types of lamps. In the Archicad Library 19, you have general light sources. These are not actual physical lamps, but they're just a light source, which you can use in some certain applications. Below that is interior lamps, and you can see you've got everything from floor lamps to spotlights, recessed and so on, pendant lights, which would look quite nice. And the last of all, you've got exterior ones to do with street lamps as well. And remember that if you do type in at the top lamps and hit the enter button, we will then also get, I'll try that again, and the enter button, you then will search for all the lamps on Archicad 19 plus all the ones that are available to you on the internet. And you can see there's a whole lot of different ones here. Actually, well, these are from Archicad 17. If we scroll through there might be some ones that you can add to your library. We've done that before. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to just go back and choose the standard lamps, the recessed halogen lamp. Okay, back to folder view. And I'm going to go down to interior lamps and then find this recessed spot 19. This is like a nice spotlight halogen lamp. Select it, and then we need to set some of its parameters. So over here we can see that we've got some control over its height. And if we look at the arrow seems to be pointing from the current story to the bottom of the object. So this is the distance from the floor, if you like, to the bottom of the lamp. Now remembering that our height of our walls for our cottage is 2400 and our ceiling went in at 2400, that means we would need to recess our spotlight a little bit below that. So if I'm in the ground floor, which I think I am, I'm going to set this height to project 0 to be a distance of 2390, which should bring us, my master word, 2390 to bring us in just below the height of the actual ceiling. Okay, the rest of it we'll leave just as is for now. Click OK and go to 2D view, and I'm just going to poke a lamp in where that was visible, so pop one there, that'll do for now. Back to 3D, and we can see it's just appeared there. Now at this point it's probably worthwhile having a look to see whether it's low enough below the actual ceiling. And that's interesting, it's just disappeared from view. You can, okay, so there's a problem in that I can't see it there and I can see it just above the ceiling, so that means I need to make it a little bit lower. So what I might do is just zoom back out again, go back to 2D view and select that in 2D view. So go to my arrow tool, select this one here, and I might just drop that down a little bit lower, maybe another 10 millimeters lower to make it lower on the ceiling. 2380, and click OK. Okay, so there's one lamp. I better double check that we can see it in 3D. There it is. It seems to be now sitting down far enough. Okay, so back to 2D. Let's now repeat these lamps so that we've got them multiplied. So click and hold onto the lamp itself, and then from the pet palette, you don't want to drag, you don't want to rotate, you don't want to mirror, you don't want to elevate, but the last one is multiply. So click on multiply, and here's some options that we have. So I want to have these lamps, I'm going to have to say put 4 along the length of this kitchen / living area here. Actually I might go for 3. So number of copies would therefore be 2, I make 2 copies. Vertical displacement, don't touch that, nothing goes in there. And the last thing to do is to kind of work out how you're going to place them, either incremental, distribute, spread, or distribute -1. The easiest one is distribute, and click OK. You simply click the first one where you want it to start from, and then as you move your cursor you can see it then distributes the other 2 copies along that line. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep stretching that until you can see the other lamp halfway along is underneath the ridge. Click there, and now you can see I've got 3 lamps positioned like so. While those lamps are in there, I'm going to grab my shift, hold down shift. All 3 lamps are now selected, and then I'm just going to simply mirror those down here. I could use mirror, or I could actually use multiply. I might go to multiply, it's easy. Click and hold once again, go to multiply. This time I don't want 2 copies, I only want 1 copy. Distribute's still the one I want. Click OK. Click the start of the lamps where they're going to start from. Then move the cursor down, and you can see using the blue guidelines there, we can snap it vertically and come down to an approximate position about there. And we've got now 6 lights in, nice and evenly positioned. Okay, so that's how you place the lamps. Let's have a back look at that again in 3D again, and you can see the lamps are going in. And then when we start to do rendering, you'll then see how we can edit these lights when we get to rendering to make them look a lot more realistic. Okay, that's lamps.